It's a day of reflection and reconciliation right here at the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Memorial. Scores of people, I should say, have been pouring in since morning. It's almost 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here in Washington, D.C. And as you can still see, there are quite a number of people still hanging around as the country is reflecting on the legacy of the late Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And here at the VOA, we're trying to keep you up to speed with exactly what has been happening here, bringing you the sights and the sound as there is. I will be attempting to speak to a few African Americans as well to gauge their understanding and really get a sense of how they are commemorating Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s Day. Hi, good afternoon. Thank you very much for joining me. I work with the Voice of America. And you are?
Andrew.
Andrew, where are you from?
I am from Alexandria.
Okay. Andrew, is this the first time that you've come to the memorial?
So it's probably the second or third time.
And on this particular day, as the country is remembering the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., what's on your mind?
Just remembering him and what he said was to, be of service to others and, serve the country the best you can, making it a place where all people can come together.
Would you say that the country has come far as far as some of the causes that he fought for are concerned? Where is America at this time?
Right now, America is fighting some cultural differences, and there's a lot of tension right now between racism as well as social classism, and I think that we have some more to go to come together more as a country.
Personally, on your level, how do you ensure that gap comes together? Is there anything that personally you do?
I just try to be essentially a great person wherever I can, help out, volunteer wherever I can. I like all people, and I try to become friends with anybody I can become friends with.
So what's your hope for the next 10 years for the United States of America?
I would say the biggest thing for the United States of America in the next 10 years is, can we get our classism system, reined in, essentially, financial equality, moving towards even more social equality within the federal government as well.
Andrew, thank you very much for joining
Thank you.
So that's Andrew speaking to us. I have another gentleman here also with me. Nice to meet you. What's your name, please?
My name's Tariq Suber.
Okay, Tariq, where are you from?
I'm originally from Charlotte, North Carolina, but I stay in Alexandria, Virginia right now.
Okay, so talk to me about what this day means to you. It's a federal holiday for Americans to commemorate the legacy of the late Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. What does it mean to you, Tariq?
Oh, it means a whole lot. It's good that we can have a day to commemorate the legacy he left for us African Americans, and not only us, but also like other marginalized and criminalized and victimized groups of this country. He helped out a lot of immigration when it came to people who came from Africa. Like, my mom's from Egypt. And because of the things he did for immigrants, my mom was able to come over here and give birth to me. Like, he did a lot for segregation because my dad's from the South, and like now you can go to anywhere. And I just feel like, prior to his movement, there'd be no way I'd be able to have people who are Caucasian who are my friends and people who I work with who are Caucasian, and just everybody being all connected and understanding each other and getting stuff from one another and other opportunities and growths and things like that.
Yesterday, he would have been 94 years old were he alive. Are there things that you don't like?
One thing I wish he did, while I do agree with the peace first and war last, that's how usually it goes whenever you study in martial arts and like fighting things like that. I agree with, of course, being peaceful and using and not being violent. But I also think at a certain point, when it comes to your family and your safety and your well-being, then at some point you do need to defend yourself, and you do need to have precautions to protect yourself, because I know you saw the situation that happened in Buffalo with the guy who walked into those stores and started hurting people. And I have family in Buffalo, and that situation just really touched me. And it's like, man, I really wish, of course, violence should never be the answer, but there should be an understanding where, like, I'll leave you with this quote: it's better to be a warrior in the garden than a gardener in a war zone. So, you know, I feel like if he just would have just been like, okay, yes, of course we should be peaceful, but when it comes to yourself, defend yourself by any means.
Tariq, thank you so much for spending your time with us.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a great day.
You too. So that's Tariq. He just told us that thanks to the contribution of the late Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., his mother emigrated from Egypt into the country. That's how he was born here. And his cataloged a number of issues and what he's hoping for. As you can see behind me, early on today, there were wreaths that were laid by the Memorial Foundation today. And one of the sons of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was part of the people who were present here. And as you can see, there are three in honor of him. Inscriptions here says, "Happy birthday, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. We can all be friends," it says. And we're continuing to report to you about what has been happening this day as Americans continue to come to this memorial to essentially commemorate and remember what Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. did for the country, particularly for Black people, African American as well. And as you can see, the numbers are going down now, but initially there were scores of them just taking in, reflecting on what this day means to them. Early on, there was an event that was held this morning, and Linda Thomas Greenfield, who is the ambassador of the United States to the United Nations, talked about leading with empathy and kindness. She says that's what Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. would have represented, and it's something the country should embrace. And just as you can see right there, it says that out of the mountain of despair, a stone of hope, in honor of the man that Americans are not only celebrating, but reminding all of the work that he did, what he stands for, and the work that is left to be done. And let's still try to speak to a bit more African Americans here to gauge what this day essentially means for them. Hello, sir. Thank you very much for joining me. I'm Ignatius. Can we have some time with you, please? Okay. He's not ready at this time, so let's continue to go here to read some of the quotes that have been ingrained into the walls of the memorial. And this says, "Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. We're caught in an escapable network of mutuality, tied in a single garment of destiny. Whatever affects one directly affects one or all indirectly." And there are a few of those quotes, as you can see, that have been put here. This one says, "I have the audacity to believe the peoples everywhere can have 3 square meals a day for their bodies, education and culture for their minds, and dignity, equality, and freedom of all their spirits." And not only is the memorial, attracting the attention of locals and indeed tourists from outside the country, across here, they are taking in what he said, what it meant for them. And perhaps I would try to see if I can speak to this couple here. Thank you very much for joining us. I'm Ignatius with the Voice of America, and you are?
Waddell.
Waddell, and you are? Samantha. So I see that you're looking at one of the quotes of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Here, he delivered this quote in California in 1967. It says, "It's not enough to say that we must not wage war. It is necessary to love, peace, and sacrifice for it." What do these words mean to you? You've been here for a while, I see.
Yeah, we've been for a little bit. Coming back again, it looked like they had to correct some errors, but what this means to us,
I think it's an active stance for peace. It's not something that's passive, and where war is more like something we engage in. It's like full force. We have to be as equal in our efforts for war as we are in our efforts for love and peace. And it says to sacrifice. So we need to give something for peace, just like we kind of lay it all on the line for war when we are seeking to win and be victorious.
Oh, thank you for that. And what does this day mean for you?
Coming together, being one, looking over faults and accolades that people once did and stood for long ago. Just coming together and sharing one day a piece for everybody.
Yeah, I think just remembrance, and also as probably a marker that it's not done. We're not done. We've got so much to do going forward. This is an active process. Dr. King's dream is not yet fulfilled.
And as we move forward, as you leave this historic ground to your homes and into your daily lives from tomorrow, what would you be taking with you?
Just that we all have a part to play, I think. It's not, again, like passive. Dr. King was one individual. He was able to kind of corral or garner the support of many, but everyone played a part. And I think that's probably the biggest thing, even in our daily lives. Like maybe on some small measure, we're still able to impact, I guess, the life and peace that we seek for our future.
Thank you. And I'll give you the last.
You know, we pretty much live this daily, the sorority and the fraternity, the organizations that we represent. And this one thing is like we lift as we climb. So as we continue to move forward and prosper and gain positive, we lift that next person up that might be struggling and that just needs either a helping word, a helping hand, or whatever it may be.
And you think this will make him happy wherever he is?
I think even where we are today is market improvement, of course, from where we were when Dr. King was marching. But I think, again, so far to go. But as we reflect, it was just a different time, a different era. And he really put himself out there. I mean, to the extent of giving his life for something that he believed so wholly in. That is, our people deserve better.
Thank you so much. All right. So just right across this memorial, you will see scores of people just stand and take in the quotes of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and what it means to them. They take just minutes out of their time just soaking in these words that would continue to live on forever, if you ask me. And that'll be it for us here. But let's just continue to give you some of the sights and some of the sounds as Americans, not only in this country, but folks from outside the country as well have come here to witness on this very day as we commemorate Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day. And as you can see, the numbers are going down now, but there have been scores of people. I am Ignatius Annor. Thank you very much for reporting live from Washington, D.C.